This is cinema. Like, I am just. I'm in awe. Like, this episode's quality is just insane. It's jaw dropping. Like, I could not believe what I was watching when I saw this episode. Like, the individual frames to the just everything, just literally everything to this episode of Jujutsu Kaisen is it's insane. Like I'm trying to form words here. Like I'm in shock. I am in a state of shock. I imagine just take a moment to think about this. Okay, imagine if the bigwigs, the people behind the scenes, like the big head honchos at Studio Mappa, the production team, and all that, give the staff more time. Just how good season 2 would look. How much better even this episode will look. This episode is just, it's jaw-dropping. I keep saying it, but it is. Like, it is absolutely insane how good this is. And there's talks that the next episode of Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be better than this. Like, it is going to be better quality. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just talking about this episode. Imagine if the staff was given more time to work on these episodes than what we currently know of. Like, we know that the staff that's working on these episodes are literally, like, less than a week away from collapse, pretty much. Or days away, from what we can kind of tell, at least when it comes to some of the staff members that have talked out about, the episodes. So when you take a hard look at this episode, it's just like, imagine how much better this would look. But let's actually talk about that for a second, okay? This is a staff member I talked about a while back when I was talking about the production of Jujutsu Kaisen, and you have this where he talks about how they were actually given a little bit more time. He talks about how he worked on episode 40, aka this episode, and he talks about how, like, he started working on it as a much earlier stage compared to other episodes. So basically, this episode was in longer production than the other episodes we've gotten as of late, but it really shows. Like, this really does stand out. So, like, imagine how every episode looked if they were given this amount of time that this episode was given, or even more so. Like, oh my goodness, it would be absolutely ridiculous just to see the level of quality that Jujutsu Kaisen would pump out. And I mean, it's trending. I mean, hell, you could even see it. Like, the people are talking about this right now. I'm willing to bet you if I click this and all that, there's going to be an insane amount of people. Yeah, like, all these frames people are talking about, JJK fights. Like, oh my goodness, this Sukuna frame. Like, yeah, this is a frame that Sukuna shows in this episode briefly. It's like, not even a second, it's a fraction of a second. You see this brief frame of Sukuna as he's chasing Jogo. It's crazy. Like, oh my goodness, there's so many little details that is poured into this episode that I could not believe it, man. Like, yo, this was a good episode, man. Oh my goodness. So let's get into the nitty gritty here, okay? Because I think I've fanboyed enough on just the art animation and just the wow factor of, like, just imagine what if, like, all the episodes are given this amount of time. But okay, so this episode has some insane moments. I mean, hell, let's talk about this beginning. Like, we have this whole beginning with, like, Megami versus his father, Toji, and it is just, oh my goodness, the hand-to-hand combat here is just insane. Like, just the individual frames is crazy. But also, can we talk about how these rabbits straight up, like this rabbit's I never noticed that he's swinging. He's swinging in. But okay, jokes aside though, like, can we talk about how this man is pretty much like Subaru right now? Like, this is what Subaru wishes he could do in ReZero Season 2 when the white rabbits ate him or whatever. I believe that Subaru wishes he could be, on the same level as Toji for this episode. But the individual frames here is just legit insane. Like, the hand-to-hand combat to the sequences. There's so many frames here. But it is nice to see Toji versus Megami because it showcases, like, how much Megami has evolved as a character to even try to stand up to his father, which is basically a legend. He is a legend before Gojo put an end to him. But seeing, like, Megami hold his own and all that, not just straight up dying, is really impressive. I especially love this sequence where he just, like, pokes little pebbles and stuff, and it just shatters everything around him. Like, oh my goodness, that is an insane moment here. But as the fight continues on, basically, we find out, or, technically Toji finds out, it's like, oh, this is, you're my son. He realizes that in this moment, and he ends himself. He straight up he drops dead. And the reason for that is because, well, he doesn't want to kill his son. And I think that this is a very interesting moment to give a lot of detail of Toji as an individual, and, you know, how much he grew since his first death, technically. Pretty much it shows that he does like his son to a degree. He may not be a perfect father, by no means, but he's not a complete irredeemable piece of crap. But the big thing here is that he didn't want to kill his son. And when he found out that his son wasn't named like the main family name, and a completely separate name, like a branch family name, etc., that's when he decided, like, you know, good kid. And then, you know, he ended himself. So basically, he's like, so this kid has, like, the same anger or aggression I had towards the family as well. And, you know, you see that, you know, he's very happy to see his son is following basically in his exact same footsteps to a degree. And so that is the end of Toji. It's a very unique way to end his character, because it's like, who really is going to put Toji down? I mean, the last time that someone put him down, or the only time, was, you know, Gojo. And I think it would not be right to put him down with any other character within Jujutsu Kaisen, because one of the big reasons is Gojo's the one that took him down. The only person that could potentially take down Toji at this point would probably be someone like, you know, Sukuna. But Sukuna had his hands full with, you know, Jogo, and so I think that, you know, just having this little moment with Megumi and, you know, Toji is a very powerful moment. It speaks volumes about the character and all that, and just everything we learned from the earlier portion of Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I think many people, you know, are going to absolutely love the scene. It's sad that many people are probably going to have this moment slip from their mind, because after all this happens, just all hell just breaks loose, and you just see Jogo and Sukuna just pop off. Like, oh my goodness, like, this segment, man, like, yo, just, okay, let's break this down for a second. Just give me more. I got a fanboy again. Like, you just see Sukuna, he's, like, rushing. I love the way this looks. Like, the color pattern and all that of this, like, the smears of it, it's just so unique. It's such a unique sequence that really just stood out to me out of any scene from this episode. But, like, you see Sukuna, like, just viciously running through the building, chasing after Jogo, as he's being basically footballed through walls. Like, you see Sukuna winding up a kick, and he, like, kicks this man straight through the roof, and he goes out the building. Like, yo, it is absolute insanity. Like, just the frames there. Like, there is so many frames in this segment that just go so unnoticed. Like, my man, I mean, it's going through a wall, man. Like, poor Jogo, dude, he don't deserve that. But, like, just, there's so many frames in this segment, like, you could just pause, and it's definitely not accurately capturing all this just for this sequence, and man, I cannot imagine the work that was put in that scene. But, yeah, so this scene is legit, like, it's clear why people are going to be talking about the Jogo versus Sukuna over the Toji versus Megumi stuff. Because, yeah, Toji and Megumi's great. Great stuff, yes. But Sukuna, let's be honest, let's not sugarcoat this. Sukuna is the big bad. Like, if anyone thinks of, like, who's potentially the main villain of Jujutsu Kaisen, they think of Sukuna. That's who they think of. They think of Sukuna as the final villain or so, because that's what a lot of anime onlys will think, and what manga readers think, etc. So it's like, when you factor all that in, this fight definitely has a lot more priority to a lot of people's mind than anything else, and I think many people coming into this episode, that may remain spoiler-free, was probably like, holy crap, I did not know I needed a Jogo versus Sukuna fight in my life. Like, I know many people probably felt that, because I know for a fact, when I saw this for the first time, like in the manga, I was just like, I did not know how hard this fight would go until I saw it in the manga, and then seeing it in the anime, it's a whole new experience. Like, it is high quality stuff here, and I cannot get enough of it. I'm going to be rewatching the scene for years to come. Oh yeah, 100%. But besides all of that, though, I like this final sequence with seeing Jogo in the afterlife, like before he goes fully into the afterlife. He's talking with his old comrades, the other cursed spirits and stuff, and, you know, he's very sad, and he's like, I await to meet you all again, even though we'll be different. It's a very emotional moment, honestly, that humanizes Jogo to a very high degree. He's definitely been a little bit more different than the normal cursed spirit that we've seen throughout the story, and seeing this moment is really interesting, especially when Sukuna starts to critique him in different different areas. Like, oh, so you don't actually want to be human, you just want their position. And then, he starts talking about, like, why didn't you use a domain expansion? And he's like, oh, because I would lose. And he's like, oh, that's a loser mentality. There's a lot going on here. And Sukuna, even though it sounds like he's being very arrogant, like he's trying to be a jerk, he's not really. He's actually just... He's given Jogo his final farewells in his own way, and basically saying, like, don't feel disappointed, don't feel upset and all that, like, don't straight up, like, say that you're terrible. You legitimately were strong. And it's a very unique moment, because it gives a different perspective on Sukuna's character that we just really haven't seen before. Because Sukuna, when you think of his character, up to this very point, before you see the scene, he's viewed as this vicious, murderous killer. Like, he's an evil man, like the embodiment of evil. There's more depth to him than that, but, like, he just seems like the embodiment of evil. And so, when you see the scene of him complimenting another cursed spirit, and he's like, you're strong, it shocks you, because it's like, Sukuna has this air, this atmosphere about him that is very different from Gojo. Even though when we think about two powerhouses within this verse, we think of Gojo and we think of Sukuna. Sukuna, let's be honest, we don't know who is the strongest at this point, but the point of the matter is that you could see that, you would think that Gojo would be the one to say stuff like Sukuna's saying, but Gojo is just so arrogant, and he's so... He has a god complex to a degree because of his power, that he doesn't actually do what Sukuna just did here. And it shows the way of how they look at strength and how they, present themselves to others. I really like this. It's a really nice, like, moment for Sukuna's character, but also Jogo's conclusion. It's kind of sad to see him go, but it's a great way for his character to kind of go out. But, overall, an amazing episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. Mind-blowing episode that, from start to finish, really was just outright impressive. I cannot believe just how good all this was. But, I guess I'll leave it at that. If you enjoyed this episode, and you enjoyed my video on this episode, do leave me a like. It does help me out a lot. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe if you want more of my content to appear in your YouTube video, or, YouTube feed or whatever. I don't know why I was saying video, but, it would help me out a lot as well. But be safe, stay healthy, everyone. I love you guys. Chibi out.